guys, this is Lala Legacy, and welcome back to another episode of Air. So, let's jump right back in. She said nothing after that. She hid her collapsing dignity with her sleeves. Leave! I don't want to see you! I bowed and left her room. Whoops. Okay. A court lady I walked past turned to face me with a look of surprise. My anger just would not go away. I did not know what I was angry about. I paid Uraha a visit before the start of my night shift. Her room was in a mess, and she was hurrying about looking for something. What are you doing? Her shoulders jerked, and she turned around. She relaxed after she saw me. I'm busy right now. Please come back later, she replied curtly. Uraha looked as if she were preparing for a trip. Her black travel casket was packed tightly with folded clothes. Hey. Please leave me be. Are you going somewhere? Yes, you could say that. She hardened her hardened face was wrought with rage. Why must I be separated from Lady Kanna? So you've heard. I've only served her for not even half a year. I thought it was just the beginning for the both of us. This treatment is uncalled for. Do you plan to go with her? Isn't that obvious? She had been wanting to say that, it seemed. I know she's leaving soon, but it's not like she's leaving today or tomorrow. That's why I'm going to take her away before then. Are you going to run away with her? I was flabbergasted. Even a child should know that running away was futile. The guards are not so lax as to let two women escape. I'm quick on my feet. Do not worry for me. I sighed. I had been doing that a lot lately. Just tell me one thing. What is it? Why are you so concerned for Kanna? I'd like to ask you the same question, Sir Ryuuya. Her sudden rebuttal had me speechless for a moment. I wonder why. If I'm to be honest... If you're to be honest... There's no one else who's as much fun to tease as her. Isn't that right? We both laughed out loud after that. Something happened yesterday before daybreak. Yes. I found Kanna watching the moon by herself. She told me she wanted to meet her mother. Is that so? I had heard about it from her only recently. Lady Kanna must really have taken a liking to you. She just likes to tease me. That's not true, she said with confidence. Lady Kanna has a harsh temperament. She won't even give a passing glance to those she dislikes. Is that so? Then I noticed that it was time for my shift. I've stayed too long. I'm going for night duty. Please take care. When I was just about to leave, I recalled something important. I pointed at Uraha's clothings scattered on the floor and whispered to her. I won't report you to the authorities, but please don't do anything rash yet. Do you have something planned? No. I'm going to get a promise made. For Lady Kanna's sake? No, for my own sake. For your own sake? I simply smiled at her. I could not find a chance to meet Kanna. After I had asked Uraha to conduct herself carefully, I could no longer ask for her help. I thought of some pretext to visit Kanna daily. The court lady stopped me every time. Lady Kanna is not feeling well. She won't be having any visitors today. Understood. Is she still in a bad mood? Huh? No, it's nothing. I hastily took my leave and returned to the guard room. The day for departure slowly approached, but I was not yet able to meet Kanna. When the notification to discharge us of our guard duty arrived, the veil of anxiety plaguing the shrine was lifted. Everyone smiled and jested as though they had just been given a new lease of life. 3 days before Kanna's departure, my superior checked our surroundings before whispering to me. Within the next 2 days, collect every document and lettering regarding the shrine to and Kannabi no Mikoto. So, it has to be done on the day of Lady Kanna's departure? Don't ask any more questions. And why is that? When I interrogated him, he simply snapped at me. You need not know. Thoughts churned in my head as I walked down the corridor. The lax security of this place, the superiors who did not bother to train the soldiers when morale was already at an all-time low. The need to collect every document regarding Kanna by the time she was due to leave. The sneaking suspicion I had ever since I heard of Kanna's transfer had now turned into a certain conviction. There was a deeper motive at work. On the day before the departure, after completing my work for the day, I holed myself up in my room. Kanna would be leaving the shrine tomorrow. A lonely departure without a guard or even so much as a farewell feast. I did not even know where she was going. A moist wind entered through the partition screen. Rain would most likely come in the night. I picked up my sword at my side and drew it from its sheath. The silver blade absorbed the darkness around it. I ran through the plan for tonight in my head. All preparation had been made. A sinister doubt crept up upon me. It whispered to me, telling me that I was being foolish. Why do you want to bring this upon yourself? It asked. You've survived by yourself all these years. Keep doing the same. I closed my eyes and sheathed my sword. With that crisp sound of my sword, my mind was set. I put my plans into action an hour before sunset. Good evening, sir. Good evening. After waiting for the guard to walk further away, I entered the inner halls unnoticed. My destination was Kanna's room. I knew full well that I was doing something reckless. Only a few court ladies were allowed to enter Kanna's room, including Uraha. It might be excusable for me to visit her room during the day, but that certainly wasn't the case at night. Heads would roll if I was caught. And I wasn't talking about getting discharged of my duties. My severed head would literally be rolling on the floor. I walked cautiously, careful not to make any noise. Finally, I reached Kanna's room without getting discovered. The blinds were up to let in the night breeze. Folding screens were erected so that it was impossible to see into the room from the outside. Light was peeking in from the room. I proceeded to her bed. The candle stands were lit as I had expected. Kanna must have stayed up late. I leaned over the bed and whispered into her ears. Hey Kanna, wake up! The body moved under the blanket. She tossed irritably, but she noticed there was someone at her bedside. Her eyes cracked open, cracked open as she looked in my direction. Morning. She slowly turned her head and looked around the room. Then she noticed something that should not be there right in front of her. That was me. Intruder! It's me. Stop shouting. I quickly covered her mouth. Stop struggling. I need to talk to you. She was cursing me with all the profanity she knew. That I could tell. I'm not going to do anything to you. Just don't yell, all right? Not if you understood me. She nodded reluctantly. I released my hand slowly. She hit me on the head. How dare you sneak in here to violate me? I said I didn't come here for that. Save your breath. No, really. Then why are you doing this? I came to get your promise. That was the only thing I said to her. Kanna's expression changed. She seemed to have sensed something from the tone of my voice. My promise? I'm a servant of the shrine. I can't overturn the rules here. But there is one exception. My duty is such that I can't disobey the direct orders of Kannabi no Mikoto. Well, I did go against you many times in the past. I added that with a laugh, but Kanna did not laugh. Perhaps she could guess what I was about to say. So, if you order me to bring you to your mother, then I'll put my life on the line to carry out your orders. Kanna, as my master, will you grant me that order? I knew Kanna was at a loss for words. Perhaps I already made up my mind when I heard she was leaving. I just wanted to hear her true feelings. Then I would not hesitate to risk my life for her. The decision is yours. I won't say anything more. I sat down and waited for her answer. Occasionally, the fire in the candle stands flickered and the wicks crackled. Rain was approaching. This moment seemed like eternity. Then, Kanna spoke. Then heed me. I hereby order you to bring me to my mother. She turned away after saying that, perhaps out of embarrassment. With that, all the pieces were in place. I removed the sword strapped around my waist and placed it on the floor. Then I got to my knees and put my fists at my shoulders' width on the ground. I, 8th upper-ranked official Ryuuya, hereby swear to follow the orders of Kannabi no Mikoto without fail. We'll have to go through with the formalities. I see to it that it is done. With that, the ceremony ended. I sat down cross-legged and smiled. Then I took out a package from my pocket and handed it to Kanna. Inside the package was a pair of female straw sandals. Hide this somewhere. Sleep as much as you can. I'll come wake you in 2 hours. For what reason? It's going to rain soon. The security will become lax then. Besides, you won't have enough energy if you don't sleep. I wasn't talking about that. Do you truly believe that we can escape from this place? I've received certification for my sword skills. You shouldn't lie. I'm speaking for your own safety. Oh? You don't look strong at all. I could only smile at that insult. I'm your servant. Whatever you wish for, I'll make it come true. I winked and showed her a confident smile. Why are you going so far from me? I wonder why. Those were my honest feelings. Kanna watched my face without so much as a word. We'll meet later. After I looked beyond the screen door and prepared to go, or after I looked out the screen door and prepared to go out into the corridor, I sensed that Kanna had something to say to me. Yes? I'll be waiting for you. You can be honest at times. Have you fallen for me? I didn't say that! You really should get some rest. It's going to be tough. Kanna nodded. I left her room with quiet footsteps. There was another place that I needed to visit. Uraha's room. Uraha was responsible for seeing to all of Kanna's needs. For that reason, she was assigned a private room that was close to Kanna's. I stepped into Uraha's room, taking care not to make any sound. Her bedding sat folded at the center of the empty room. However, there was no sign of her. Uraha, are you here? I narrowed my eyes and scanned the deserted room. I have been expecting you. Whoa! Uraha was smiling from the shadows of the darkness. A court lady has to learn to keep out of the way of her master at all times. But are they able to conceal their presence to this extent? You knew that I'd come. Tonight is the only night left, she smiled. I've already prepared everything needed for our journey. I pointed at the pile behind her. Are you bringing all of those? Yes, they are all Lady Kanna's clothes. I don't know which one she's going to need, so I'll bring all of them. There were about 10 caskets forming a small mountain. One of them looked large enough to hide a small child. What's in that big box? A 12-layered ceremonial kimono, and another 5-layered outer coat which will look gorgeous on Lady Kanna. As a side note, the set of clothes would weigh more than the equipment on a foot soldier. We are leaving them. Why is that? She hugged the big casket and asked me with a serious expression. I'm hoping for Lady Kanna to wear this when she meets her mother. I even picked a color that would be easier on the eye. Uraha doubled on the floor and cried. I should be the one crying. Wait, I never told you anything about taking Kanna to see her mother. I've seen through what you're thinking. So the crying was fake after all. Just then, we felt another presence. There was someone hiding behind the screen door. Uraha sidled up to me. We are being spied on. She whispered that into my ear. It would seem so, I replied in a low voice. That was most likely Uraha's roommate. She seemed to have wanted to hide her presence, but was failing spectacularly. Perhaps she thinks I'm here to fornicate with you. Or wait, whoops. Perhaps she thinks I'm here to fornicate with you. That's likely. We need to get rid of her somehow. In that case, Uraha laid her face on my chest. Please put your arm around my waist. I had some reservation, even though she was the one suggesting that. But now was not the time to be picky. I placed my hand on her clothes as instructed. Ah, Sir Ryuuya, how long I have waited for this moment. The night is still young. Let's enjoy ourselves. Sir Ryuuya. Her lustful voice was erotic. Now was as good a time as any. I decided to have a go at her butt. Oh God. You're naughty. It's all good. It's all good. In that case, I shall do the same. She grabbed my precious member as revenge. She smiled and pretended to move her sleeve. Then she stopped moving all of a sudden. What's wrong? She looked at my crotch and said scornfully, Your thing is useless. Oh God! Her frigid voice traveled through the entire room. I'm just tired from work. Some nights I can't make it stand, I explained in a piteous voice. Pity. To think I could only put you to sleep like a nanny tonight. Pity. I heard someone click her tongue from behind the screen door. Following that, the presence disappeared down the corridor. I think she's gone. It would seem so. You didn't have to squeeze me so hard. Did you not do the same to me? Just to make things clear, my thing will stand when the situation calls for it. Do show it to me when that situation arises. Let's get back to business. That's right. In an hour's time, I plan to make my escape with Kanna. I'll go with you. Are you sure about that? It's going to be a harsh journey. I'm prepared for it. She said that with her usual tone of voice. But I had to ascertain how determined she really was. I grabbed the hilt of my sword with my right hand. Then I slid the sword out of its sheath. I pressed the blade against Uraha's neck. This will happen to you if you're caught. My sword was unlike the fragile ones used for ceremonies. It had been tainted with the blood of many. Do you understand? You may be killed. Even a strong-minded woman feared the sword, but Uraha answered me without a care. I don't mind. I've sworn to serve Lady Kanna even in death. Far from being shaken, she did not even twitch a muscle. Giving up my life is nothing, as long as it's for Lady Kanna's sake. As long as I could help soothe her heart, even for just a little. Her composed expression and her clear eyes bore down on me. I always thought she was just a cheerful but naive woman. At least, that was until now. I kept my sword. It was not a bad feeling to admit defeat in this manner. All right, come with us. Uraha smiled earnestly. I can forever be with Lady Kanna like this. But you'll have to repack the belongings. I suppose this won't do after all. Uraha turned to look longingly at the pile of luggage behind her. Bring only the light clothes, just one outer coat, and we have no need for the straw hat. And bring water, dried rice, salt, dried meat, and medicine if you can find that. Uraha nodded reluctantly. I'll come for you again later. Finish the packing by then. All right. Don't forget to bring your own clothes. My oh my! I've completely forgotten about myself, she replied absent-mindedly. Have I found myself a good-for-nothing companion? Basically. The spying incident a while back came to mind. By tomorrow, rumors about me would have spread throughout the shrine like wildfire. The security officer visited the room of a court lady at night only to go to sleep fully clothed. I, I hugged my head. There was nothing more shameful for a man. Either way, I can't stay here any longer. That's not a bad outcome. Please don't look so happy, will you? But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe. By subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!